We have 1 and 2 up. We have the screens up.
All
Everything's
right.
loud in effect.
Welcome
Hey,
back.
everybody. Round of applause. Yes, 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 yes. We have Izzy, the goddess.
Hey, what's up, y'all?
Yes, in the building. Izzy, it's been a while.
I know, I haven't been here in a year. Like, I really
Yes.
forgot how to get here. I was like, what is the
Right, she
address?
asked me, I was like, oh my God, damn, she was correct. But no, it's been a year. You took faith in me when I first started here at DTF.
Hell
I had no
yeah.
idea what I was doing. Still don't, but you came on the show, and I first met you on, shout out to UncleTone and the Girl Man
Yes,
Show.
DJ
Yes, for the link ups.
UncleTone.
Many link ups. But yes, he introduced me to Izzy, and I've been following Izzy on Instagram and watching everything that she's been doing. And I love how you're inspiring women and creating a new outlook, you know, for yourself and for people to, you know, look up to. So that's another
Thank
reason why I'm
you.
like, I have to have her back on because this
Thank you.
is great. People need to see
Mic
this.
is like, okay, there we go.
Yes, get the mic. My mic sounds.
How do you keep it
The
down?
mic sounds-
Like, no, it's
We
like,
adjust to it sometimes. Yeah, that's why I want, because we need to see your beautiful face.
yeah, so
we
that's
have to see
cool.
that.
That's fine.
But no, tell us about sensual sessions. Like, just to give us a brief. We're gonna talk more about it later on, but that was one of the things that I noticed that you've been promoting on your page now. Like, what does sensual sessions mean? What are we getting? Give us an
Okay,
insight.
so Sensual Sessions is an event I'm having February 24th.
Yes.
It's all women's event. So, men, I understand you want to be around, but this event is not for you.
You guys cannot watch us in our yoga pants bending over. That's not what this is for.
So, I'm all about women empowerment and uplifting women and
Mm-hmm.
just being in tune with self and loving yourself. So, this event is strictly for that. There's
like
going to
that.
be a woman that's going to give a class on sex toys.
Yes. Okay.
So she's going to have a variety of different sex toys
Okay.
and how to please yourself. I'm
Mhm.
going to be teaching the women sensual movement and being in tune with yourself. And then
Your
we're going to have a Q&A. There's going to be food. There's going to be wine. So it's an event for queens. Have fun, laugh, and just being yourself.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Definitely. Yes. Shout out to Izzy. Setting the things up for the women out there. So we know what to do and we can keep learning. But no, what's the inspiration behind the event? Like, what made you come up with, like, sensual sessions and creating something like this for women?
Stuff just comes to my mind.
I understand you.
It just really
I
comes to my
understand you.
mind. And I read something somewhere. Whatever comes to your mind, like an idea, just
You
go
gotta
with
follow
it.
it.
Just follow it and just go with it.
Yeah.
So that's what I've been doing. I have so many ideas in my head, and I make sure I write it down or just like
Yes.
meditate about it.
Yes. Writing down is key. No, like, I've completely adopted that because if you know, sometimes you'd have thoughts and even when you write something down, you can look at it differently. You can be inspired and create something even different from that. So writing
Word.
stuff down is definitely
I was
great.
looking at a book that I had
Mhm.
from like 2 years ago, a book that I'm just journaling in, and I'm just writing down the stuff I want to manifest, and I'm like, oh my God. It has happened already. Yo,
yes,
I'm just like, wow, I
yes.
really am growing. I really am
Shout out to
changing.
growth. Shout out to growth. Oh my God. Shout out to growth.
Yo, it just feels so dope. And there's sometimes I'm
Yeah.
just like, Instagram is such a setup, yo. You
Is
look
it?
at other people's pages
Yes.
and you be like, oh no.
Yes.
I'm not there yet. I wish I was
Comparison
there.
is the thief of all joy.
It really is, yo.
Yes, you can think you've gotten so far, and you see somebody, you're like, oh man, I haven't even done
Exactly.
nothing yet. But like you said, it's good because even I, like, it's mentioning writing things down. Like, I look at like past notepads and things that I had like a bullet points that ended up crossing off and that I've been completed. I'm like, yeah, I really have grown. So that those type of things, sometimes it's like confirmation, and it makes you want to do more. Like, I got this done, now we got to do this. Like, you know, it's like it's a constant thing. So I definitely respect that. And even with a lot of women now, like, I know a lot of people, especially at the beginning of the New Year, so everybody's on this diet craze and going to be
Yeah.
healthy for like 3 months. And by April, May, maybe things will change. What do you think about that? And like, you know, people in the beginning of the new year, like with their body and stuff, making changes.
I feel that was a fad, but I feel like now that veganism and vegetarianism is like in like, you know what I mean?
A lot of people, it's very
a lot
common.
of people
Yeah.
are noticing and getting consciousness on what's in the food. Like,
Right. And
so
paying
like
attention.
people are paying attention and people
Agreed.
are dying 40, 50, 60 years old. So they're
That's
like,
true.
I need to get it together.
Yeah, especially when you see family members or people close to you have complications due to just food. It's like you have to, if you want a different outcome, you're going to make a different decision and put something different inside your body. So I actually completely agree with that. And like about body movements, like what do you think about like people coming into the new year and trying to work out more and stuff like that? What do you think that that's going to help them as far as in the bedroom? Because this is a sex show, the Smiles69Network show.
Sex,
it all comes back to sex. Yes, it does.
Sex,
yes, it
sex,
does.
Sex.
But no, as far as like, I know a lot of people, they say like when they work out, like I've had guys that I've hired in videos and stuff like that. A lot of them, a lot of the guys in the porn industry, they're huge workout buffs. Like these guys are in the gym crazy all the time. And I never used to understand it because some of the females don't work out as much as the guys do. So I was going to say, like, what do you think working out would do for females in the bedroom or yoga poses or whatever the case may be?
Well, any type of movement, any type of exercises increase your libido.
And what is libido? Because I had an article that I pulled up, but they mentioned that. They said that yoga poses increases libido and better sex it makes it. So that's...
Libido is just the desire to have sex. Like, what's the other?
Okay, like an energy type of. Yeah, I see what you mean. Like just the urge.
The urge. Right. There we go. The urge to want to have sex, and a lot of men and women, have trouble with that, and they want to know what could I eat, what can I do to increase
to get the urge. Like I got the urge.
No, I'm saying decrease the desire. There we go. The desire, the urge to really want, and some people don't have that in them.
That is kind of true though, because there's always people who said like if they're working and stuff or they're focused on something, sex is like the furthest thing from their mind.
Yeah, and if you're stressed out and not eating right and not taking care of your body, you're not gonna want to have sex.
I kind of agree with that. And then also I wanted to get your insight on this. I noticed that because I've been into like diets and working out more now, and I've really been into like cleaning myself out, like drinking apple cider vinegar, prune juice.
So awesome.
Oh, it tastes disgusting, but it makes you feel amazing.
It's such a great detox. Yeah.
But those things, like I've noticed that every time I detox myself, I get extremely horny. And I'm like, what the fuck is going on over here? Like you clean yourself out, you're like, you're great, you feel light, and then you're like, I want something going on right now. So like,
anything from the earth is. Anything that's natural and from the earth, it just cleanses you. So that's why
it opens up maybe something you're already trying to do. Maybe.
Exactly, and a lot of things that are in the stores are made in factories, made in
processed.
They're processed foods.
Yeah, that's definitely true. And you realize that once you clean yourself out, you realize the difference, and you're just like, wow, like what did I have in me? It's.
These chemicals that are in these foods are like only to control your brain and nothing else. So everything else is not functioning right. And when you detox, you start to feel more relaxed. You feel
like
a boost of energy. Yeah, there's water off your brain.
Your face gets clear.
Most definitely.
Lots of stuff goes on when you clean yourself out. You clean your body, and also going back to sex. When you clean yourself out, your semen tastes completely different. Like I don't know.
That is a fact.
I agree with that. Like
I have been with multiple different men in my lifetime,
and depending on what y'all eat,
and
like whatever you eat is going to come out. Like
you haven't tasted a man's sperm until you've been with a vegan vegetarian. I'm telling you. I'm telling you.
I need vegan sperm. Oh my god.
Because
I need vegan sperm. Oh my god. But yes, I need vegan sperm in my life. I haven't had that.
It's clean. It's pure. When you're just putting natural things in your body, your body is natural. There's like everything smells good. Everything tastes good.
Right. Because they say like when somebody eats sweets, their semen tastes like sugar. Salts,
most definitely. Most definitely.
Salt. So that's definitely something. So I get what you're saying now. So that's like a confirmation that now I know, like when I detox myself, I'm just going back to my real state of mind.
Yes, your natural state of mind.
Natural state of mind, clearing yourself out. But they have some 9 poses for better sex, according to the prevention guide here. But before I get into those, I wanted to get your outlook on what positions do you think that you've kind of mastered in doing yoga that would I guess, help people in the bedroom? Because, you know, people always say they have cramps or certain positions they can't get into because of, you know, them not being able to move their bodies a certain way. So what's like maybe, let's say 5 positions off the top of your head that a female could use that could help her in sex? And what positions in sex would this help?
Okay, so I say a cat-cow position. That's just basically on your forearms. You're on your knees and your hands are placed on the ground, and you're basically breathing in.
Doggy style.
Yeah, like it's pretty much doggy style position, and you're basically breathing in. Your stomach goes up, and then your stomach goes down. So that's just your back goes up.
So
and then
ladies,
your stomach, yes,
it's gonna help your arch.
It's definitely helps the arch. So when he says, all right, stay there, he's pushing down on your arch.
Yes, guys do that.
Yes, they do, because they want to go deeper. They want
that arch. Yeah.
They want to set it in.
Shout out to the dudes out there who want that arch. Yeah, shout out to those guys out there. But true, yeah. Oh my God, that's a good way to think about it. Yeah.
Yeah, and with yoga, it's not only these asanas, these poses, it's breathing involved. And the more you breathe, the more flexible you get, the more you get into the position.
I never thought about that.
Yes.
So breathing during sex is kind of, because guys breathe heavy when it comes to sex. I've always noticed
what
that.
Type of bed?
So when they're like, but for me it's a turn because I'm like, okay, I know he's getting worked out right now. This is perfect. I don't know.
I don't want the sound effects. I want to, you know what I mean? I want to
know you're breathing. Yeah, I don't want to be that loud.
I want to feel it too. Like,
true.
I want you to feel like you're working it, but I want to feel it too.
Right. You can't be breathing all hard and you're not doing anything. That's not gonna.
I've been in those type of situations. And it's just like, you know what?
Let me make that clear. Yeah.
Yeah.
If you're breathing hard, you must be doing the work to make you breathe the way that you are. I completely agree with that.
Oh my gosh.
Yes, indeed. But no, what's some other positions that females could do? So we have you said the cat, what's it called? The cow stretch?
The cat-cow.
Cat-cow stretch, sorry. The cat-cow stretch is going to help you guys more so with doggy style positions and also arching that back. So we have that. What's some other, 4 other ones?
Splits are really good because it opens up your hips. Anything on the ground with your legs in a straddle, it really helps you open your hips. And so sometimes,
like if you have your legs back? Or?
Exactly. When a man is on top, missionary style, and you grabbing your legs, opening it up.
Niggas do that.
They love that shit.
And they always hold that shit down, and you're like, oh, it's good, but I'm not going to stop you because all like that.
Men like to go deep.
They do. And whatever you thought your comfort zone was, they're going completely past that. Completely past whatever the comfort zone was. I agree with that, though. So you said the second one was just splits. So just splits. So that could actually probably work also for, like, riding dick maybe, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, because for me, like, getting on top, that's something I've kind of struggled with. I don't really get on top that often because I'm always worried about, like, my knees or also my ankles, because sometimes when you're sitting on top, you're pushing your ankles slightly back, so it's like in a slightly awkward position.
I sometimes when I'm on top, I sometimes feel like my feet are like tingling, like they're falling asleep.
Yeah, but that could be too. Yeah, that's true.
Into the sex, it'd be so good. Like,
and you're like, I don't want to.
I don't want to.
Yeah, I'm gonna just keep this going. I'll check out my foot later.
I do. After the sex is like, we switch to the next position. I'm like, lifting up one leg and lifting up the other. I'm like, oh, God. All right, but you still feeling good.
But just making it work in the meantime. Stretching that leg out.
You know, it's also good, too, pigeon pose. That's you are like in a, like a
pigeon pose.
Like a split kind of, but your knee is in front of you. And you're bent down. Like, I can't even describe it.
Because, yeah, I've done a few different poses. So your knee is down, and you're in a slightly
So one leg is back, and the other leg is in front of you.
Like you're going into like a lunge. Are you talking about something like that? Like a halfway lunge? Because I don't know. I could be wrong. Okay.
Kind of.
But more so your legs being spread out.
So one leg is like this in front of you, bent.
Like,
and then the other leg is straight.
Like laid in the back.
Yes, just like that, just like that, and you're like pressing down. That's just another.
Stretching out that back.
Yes,
yeah.
And it stretches out your hips, it stretches out your legs. I'm all about your hips being open.
Hips being open. Shout out to the ladies with their hips open. Yes. I'm trying to get my hips open.
If you want to do the getting on top and when he's on top of you.
Because you're sitting and your hips are kind of open in that.
Exactly. And sometimes, you know, he wants you to take over. If your hips aren't open, how you gonna whine?
How you gonna take over? Yeah. How are you going to take over with that?
But I also saw on there the bridge.
Yeah, they had the bridge. I have a couple of them on here. Yeah, I've done this sometimes at the gym as well. So this would help for more hip movement as well. And a little bit, but more hip movement from bridges. So definitely you're saying like the pigeon, what you called it?
Yeah, it's called a pigeon.
It's just called pigeon. So the pigeon pose, and also you said that's the one where your leg is back.
Yeah,
That's going to help ladies ride.
Yes.
Okay. Ladies, the pigeon pose is what you're going to be researching for or watching out on Izzy's Instagram to see what she's doing as far as that is concerned.
And I also
so you guys
saw
can learn more
downward
about
dog. It's the same
That was one
thing.
of the ones up there. Yeah, the bent down.
That's another position. That's the same thing as like doggy style, but doggy style standing up. Like he's hitting it from the back.
Yeah, because like I think the downward dog is more so probably like, let's say maybe if you're like on a kitchen counter or something like that, or like a higher.
Exactly.
On the floor.
I feel the kitchen counter is the best position.
I agree.
It's one of the best positions. All you gotta do is stand there and just rest on the table, rest on the kitchen counter, and he's doing all the work.
Yep.
Especially if he's tall.
That helps.
That
definitely helps if he's tall, yes.
Oh, my God.
And your pushback could be serious. Like you said, start back. You have something to push back from. You know, you could, you know.
That is making me go back to the counter and be.
Rolodex. Shout out to everybody who's gotten chances to have sex on the kitchen counter.
Yes.
Yeah, shout out to all of you people out there, you lovely people. But no. So we have the pigeon pose, the cat-cow stretch.
Yeah, somebody said the starfish pose.
What is that, though? I've never heard of that.
I have no idea.
The starfish pose. You could probably do some research on that. Uncle Tony something.
And you know who that was? Shout out to Capone on Money and Violence talking about starfish pose.
Yes. That starfish pose. I'm assuming a starfish pose includes a woman's legs wide open. That's just all I
guess.
Yeah, I guess that's what we're moving to. We got a confirmation from Uncle Tom that it does, yes. But no. But what also are some other poses? We got 2. We need 3 more, just because, you know, people.
I thought we mentioned them. We talked about them.
We had the cat-cow stretch. You said the split, the pigeon. The pigeon was like, that's something different because it's similar to a split, but not exactly that. Mm-hmm. So what's something that a female can do for like her upper body? Like, see, for me, I don't like giving hand jobs because my arms end up hurting.
So a good position will be the plank
for your arms.
Yes, the plank is working out your whole arm, and then going to the plank, high plank, then going to chaturanga. That's when you're in high plank and then breathing in and letting go and going all the way down to the ground.
Oh, like pushing down.
Pushing all the way down and then going into cobra and then going into downward dog.
Oh, like cobra is like when you stretch out your whole back.
Yes! I love it. She knows! Shout out to Smiles that she knows.
I took a couple classes. I do not know the names of anything, but when I see somebody, I'm like, oh, I did that before. Sometimes if you're trying to change things or, you know, do things differently, there's always so many teachers and a lot of, you know, even information on the internet. You know, people have different names for stuff.
Shout out to the internet. Google is so awesome. You can find anything. There's
YouTube too.
There is no reason why you say you do not know, because all you have to do is question mark, and it's like.
It's there.
It's there.
This is how you do it. This is how you do it. This is how you do it. This is what you need to do. This is what you need. No excuses.
No excuses.
None whatsoever. I agree. Because even with this whole craze of just people learning more about sex and also working out and stuff, like I've done workouts from Instagram and stuff. So that's You know,
Yeah.
I watch people's stuff all the time, and I'm like, okay, let me go try that. Like,
Yeah.
it's inspirational. It's definitely inspirational. But yeah, so outside of that, we are gonna take a short, quick break, and we're gonna come back in a couple minutes and talk more about body movements, sensual sessions with Izzy the Goddess. Yes.
Look
Good to
at
have
my
her here.
shirt all popping out.
She's sexy as fuck in here.
Look
I
at
didn't
my
came in here looking like
shirt.
whatever, but she has the abs on fleek. Waistline sickner. But yes. But no, we are going to be coming back in a couple minutes. More with Izzy, sensual sessions,
Yes.
body movement, sex, and more. We'll be back.
Yes, we'll be back.
But also, yes, indeed, Izzy the Goddess is here, blessing us with her presence.
What's up, guys?
Hey, what's going on? But before I got into the surfaces that I want to talk about, I wanted to pick your brain about like how you kind of got into doing yoga and, you know, working out and being able to teach other people about, you know, body movements and stuff.
So I've been doing yoga since a child. Like, I
Really?
feel yoga and dance go hand in hand.
I know a lot of positions from dance. I used to dance when I was little.
Exactly.
So,
So that's why I say I've been doing yoga ever since I was a child. I've been dancing since the age of 2.
yes.
Ballet, hip hop, tap, African, you name it. So once I started getting into yoga, and I'm like, I know this is easy for me.
Similar, yeah.
It's very similar. I just had to learn the breathing and meditating. That's what I had to learn. The positions came easy to me because I'm flexible. I am
familiar more. Than
yeah,
the positions.
yeah.
What do you think meditating and the breathing does for? Breathing we know. You know, you said it makes you more flexible. As far as meditating, what do you think that does for somebody as far as sex is concerned? Like meditating before sex, do you think that's recommended? Like, is that important? Like, what do you think about that?
I recommend meditating as much as you can. Meditating is not always sitting in a half lotus pose with your hands out here and
That's what I think.
No,
Right.
You can meditate in the shower. You can meditate when you're sleeping. Just being in tune with yourself and just talking to yourself and uplifting yourself and just.
I agree with that. I meditate a lot then. If that's the
Yeah,
yes. Shout out to the
exactly.
people out there meditating.
Just telling yourself affirmations like you got this, you are very gifted and talented, stuff like that,
This
and
is
just
easy, you know.
and just relaxing and breathing and being very in tune with yourself is what I consider meditation.
I like that. And see, I'm doing a form of that already. I've always been like, you know, focused on thinking and spending time just to do that. A lot of people, I feel like they don't think, even when it comes to answering questions, you know, people, they just answer and sometimes don't think before the answer. I've been guilty of doing that in the past myself. I'm working on things, but yeah, thinking and, you know, meditating, I feel like people do think when it comes to that. And sometimes with thinking, you come out a completely different, you know, you get different results because you've planned, you've set things out. So you have a different level of confidence because you've ensured something versus just going out on the whim, like as most people do.
So helping being in tune with yourself and being in meditation and practicing all those things, how that helps with sex is when you're in these uncomfortable positions and you're used to breathing, you breathe it in, you breathe it out. And every time you breathe in and every time you exhale, your body relaxes more.
So yeah, ladies, also, if you're sucking dick for a long or extensive amount of time, yes, breathing is definitely important for that.
Time out. There should be a rule of sucking dick.
There should be rules.
There should be definitely rules. Like when I first met my boyfriend and we got intimate, I was like, I am not Superhead. I will give you amazing head. I can do it. But I'm not going to be sitting there for an hour.
Yeah, no, I feel like a dick suck should not be no more 10 minutes. And that's a long time, too. 5 minutes, realistically, is what you should be getting. UncleTone has something to say.
So what about eating pussy?
Same. I don't think a nigga should be down there all day.
Listen, like, if you getting into it and there's some squirting going on and some finger play going on.
How long though?
And she's orgasmic with the whole thing and the tongue is working it right.
Oh, man.
I mean, I don't think it should be. It should be like a okay, I'm good. Stop. Let's fuck. All right.
But
Moment.
how long do you think it should be before that? Like, what's the maximum amount of time?
You know what? I haven't sold my penis for sex in a very long time. So when I'm intimate with somebody, I don't think it should be a limit on
Y'all focus on time.
You know, understand what I'm saying? Especially if I'm like, all right, Izzy, all right, let me eat the box real quick. You understand what I'm saying? Like, let me taste you and pleasure you. It shouldn't be like a time, like, all right, 5 minutes, 10 minutes. You know what I'm saying?
It depends
Yeah,
it really depends on the moment. Sometimes I'm like, all right, this is like, I don't want to do it too much. But then one other time, like, I may be drunk or high, and I'm like in the mood, and like I'm going, and we're 69. I'm doing handstands on the dick or something, But then those other times, I'm like, all right, come on.
Right, but now are you equating that with the head situation?
Yes,
I'm saying like
that's
you
what I'm
getting
talking
head,
about.
like you getting head, and you just getting pleased from the start. Are you putting a time limit on how much pleasure you're getting?
I see what you mean.
Well,
I guess it's, I don't know. That's weird.
that's why you have to be in tune with yourself and be in communication with the person you're having sex with. They know when it's time to just be like,
Exactly.
okay,
That's why you don't put a
switch it up.
time on it. You don't want to put a
So
time on
no
it.
time, but like, see, when I'm saying like time limit, I'm just like, in my mind, I'm thinking like, there's gonna be like a limitation. Like, nobody's gonna be down there for an hour.
Right.
An hour might be, I mean, and obviously, like you guys said, if you're into something, there's really not gonna be an exact time, like you said.
exactly.
It could be 5 minutes one time, 10 minutes the next time. But like, no one's gonna be down there for an hour. So what would like the max, like an idea for the young guys or young women that's
you know what? Once
contemplating
again,
these things?
I think that's kind of like if you're in tune with the person who you with and you're feeling each other, I don't think it's a time thing. It's like, all right,
it's no matter
I
what.
suck you, you eat me, we do 69, I flip you upside down, we fuck, boom, 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 we come to orgasm, we turn around, we do it all over the fuck again. Then we go to the kitchen table and we try that out. You understand what I'm saying? It's like, it's a moment.
Yeah.
It's not like, okay, we having sex, boom, 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 boom. You know what I'm saying? It's not robotic.
That's true.
Sex shouldn't be robotic. It should just be freeing and just like, what's the word?
Open.
Yeah, just open and just.
I'm learning things now in my new part of my life.
And flowing. There we
Yeah,
go.
so
Very
it's different.
flowy. Just whatever. Spontaneous. I feel sex should just be spontaneous and not just like, okay, next position. All right.
But niggas plan sex all the time.
You should not plan sex.
Should never plan sex.
You
Should
never
never
plan sex.
Niggas plan sex
Oh,
all
God.
the time.
No.
Niggas don't plan sex? They
No.
They-
Real
they-
niggas
they
don't.
try-
I'm
That's
from
what
East
I'm
New York.
say.
It's spontaneous.
But I've always heard dudes say, like, I'm gonna get some pussy tonight. Like, they all, like, I've heard guys say stuff like that.
Right.
Real
and,
niggas,
and,
quote unquote.
and those are dudes that give you the best 30 seconds of their life. And that's real. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to give you a moment to last a lifetime.
Like, you gonna remember this sex.
You gonna remember this.
But no. I'm working on that myself now because, I mean, I haven't been in videos in over a year, and I'm now producing, but I am getting back to having sex on a personal level versus it being business-based. And even on a personal level, I'm still not thinking about, like, how much time or anything. I'm just enjoying the moment. But in hindsight, when I start to evaluate stuff, I'm like, well, does this have to be that long? If I want to do something else, if I want to have a different position this time, then maybe I shouldn't spend so much time on this. So sometimes it's like, if you want to try something different, you want to just do something different necessarily.
Then switch. Just switch.
Yeah.
Switch in
switch.
moment.
Right, let's go. Let's just switch.
All right.
Let's just
That's
switch.
what we doing.
Here's
That's how
whipped
we do it on
cream.
set. I'm like,
Here's,
hey, you
here's
do
a
this,
chocolate.
you do this.
All right, let's go. Let's just change up. All right.
Yeah,
Word.
that's not a bad idea. But you mentioned being on the kitchen counter. We talked about that earlier too, and I wanted to get to that because body movements had a lot to do with the surfaces that we're going to be on. What kind of surfaces do you guys think are the most comfortable surfaces when it comes to sex, other than a bed? Because that's typical.
I can't think of anything.
Like the carpet. I know a lot of people have carpet in their house and they have sex on the floor. What do you guys recommend for stuff like that?
I don't feel anything other than the bed is comfortable, but it's
She's
good
like,
sex.
anything other than the bed, we're not doing.
No. I just said I wasn't doing.
Oh,
I don't
okay,
feel
okay.
it's like in that moment, but it's nothing to lay on the whole night type of thing. You get what I'm saying?
It's a limitation on the carpet.
It's a limit. I'll have sex anywhere. I've had sex in the car. I've had sex on a bench in a park.
Yes.
Like
beach. I've had sex at the
sex
beach.
in the reggae club in the back.
I have to have sex in the club. I haven't done that yet, but we're working on these things.
Sex in the club is all right. It's exciting.
I've never had sex inside of a club, but I've always thought that that's the best place. You have so many people, so much energy, like that. That sounds, and nobody would hear you. Like that sounds kind of.
See, but it depends on who you are. Sometimes it's not all about who could hear you. Sometimes, depending on who you are, it's who could see you.
Hey.
Like, hey. You know what I'm saying? You doing the Dougie and shit like, hey, all right. Oh, all right. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I see you. All right. All right, Chantel. Yeah. Yo, my nigga Ryan. All right, gotcha.
Y'all crazy.
You know?
So the club is ideal when it comes to getting down.
Well, it depends on you are. If you like being seen or you like watching and shit like that, it depends.
They do have those type of clubs where you just watch people have sex and all that. I'm not into that.
Shout out to Amsterdam. When I went to Amsterdam when I was 16, we were bombarded with ladies in the
There's
windows.
stuff like that in the city.
They have that in the city now. Oh,
Yeah,
wow.
they're like underground type. Well, they have little parties where there's people getting like whipped and wax poured on them, and you see sex in one room. Yeah, those are invite only.
Parties.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
just
We
seen
talked
one the
about
other
that.
day.
Yeah.
Wax candles. I'd like to see somebody endure that.
All that foreplay, those different type of bondage and the paddling, all those different types of things.
Well, especially when it comes to bondage, what do you think that someone should do to prepare for bondage and not be in pain? Because I've been in bondage slightly before, and sometimes, especially if your arms are pulled to the back,
Just know your limits. Don't try something and you scared to
And it's
speak up.
uncomfortable.
Yeah, it's uncomfortable. You should know what you like and know what you don't like.
That's
How do you
actually kinda
prepare
true.
for that? I have no idea.
Because see, for me, I'm always
If you
thinking,
never
like,
did it
if I
before-
do this stretch, it's gonna make me more comfortable when I start to do it. Like it's like you don't want it to hurt, but you're like, if I do this, it's gonna hurt less. But I still want to do it, even though it hurts. I don't know. Some people in the porn industry are very weird, but I'm one of them. But yes. But also, when we first started talking, when we came back, you said that you started off as a dancer. I as well. You started off as a dancer and learned a lot of positions from there. Now, how did you get to the point now where you're able to teach women and show them different positions and showcase yourself online? What made you start to do that in your adult life now?
I just followed my dreams. Like just basically, this is what I wanted to do, and I just went out on a limb and just went for it.
And see
Like
what
I
it
really
started.
started practicing with myself and just doing it and posting videos, doing something different, getting out of my comfort zone. The whole world is going to see me.
Yes.
You know what I
yes,
mean?
I love it. I love it. Yes.
So then I got invited on here to teach. I think it was your show, right? Yes. UncleTone show to teach yoga. So ever since then, I just like I said, I come with these things in my head, these different events and these different.
We love it.
I want an event like every month, every day. I wish I could, but it's a lot of work and a lot of money to put into it.
Yeah, resources are definitely
Yeah.
essential in these things. Definitely. Where can people actually reach you and support what you're doing? Is there like a GoFundMe or a PayPal or?
I don't
Not
have
yet.
I don't
Okay.
have a GoFundMe yet. Like I wanted to, but I was like, what would be my cause? Like, what would I say?
Shout out to people who actually want a real cause to put on GoFundMe, like other than everybody else who just wants their bill paid.
Yo.
Yes.
Word. No, people really do that? Help
Yes.
me pay my bills?
Yes.
Do people really get money for
Yes,
that?
help me get breast implants. Yes, help me get lipo. Yes, that happens.
They do.
That really happens.
Yes. Let me get a penile
My
implant.
shirt,
something.
like my breasts just want to keep popping
Her breasts are
out.
popping out on the
Yo.
show. I know that no one hates that, so
Yes.
like
And the church said amen to the breast popping out.
The church says amen. I can't with y'all. Oh my God. So we got into a lot of different things today, especially when it comes to body movements and stuff like that. What would be your advice for like young women out there who may not have had sex yet, but are thinking about it? What do you think that they could do to prepare their bodies physically for that?
We're talking about young women?
Well, let's say just women who haven't had sexual experience. Let's go there.
Okay, because young women,
depending on how young, I don't know what young is to people now, but
yeah.
yes.
For women in general, just knowing, because giving yourself to another person is something you need to be sure about. Because it's not just the physical, it's the mental, it's the spiritual. Sex is very amazing, but at the same time, you got to think about everything that goes with it.
The person behind
the person
having sex with, that's huge, important to me.
Yeah, most definitely. With all these diseases out here and a lot of people that do not care what they do to their bodies and what they do to other people. So it's just be mindful of you and everybody else and know, do you want to wear condoms? Do you not want to wear condoms?
Whatever you
yes.
Whatever you decide to do.
Exactly.
Yes. I completely agree with that.
Yeah.
I've always been advocating for stuff like that. I've done scenes with condoms, scenes without condoms, but I've always been very focused on it.
That doesn't scare you? Like
it has scared me.
Without the condoms?
Yes, it has scared me. That's why for a long time in the industry, I didn't do scenes without condoms. But I created relationships with certain people that I trusted, that I knew their lifestyles and I knew how they operated. Those are the people that I chose to lay down with. And they still obviously had to show and prove for, what they did in the scenes and stuff. But even then, you still have to have that kind of trust. 'Cause even paper is paper. People could lie on paper.
Yeah, that's true.
And even you could still do fact
so
checks.
So you don't have you don't have doctors in the industry?
Well, a lot of people in the industry, they use adult talent testing. So that was one of the things that I required as well. And also, I used to.
And how frequently do you do that?
Most people do it every 2 weeks, but a lot of the guys they sometimes get tested more than every 2 weeks. They actually go and get tested sometimes right before a shoot. Talent testing gives you test results within 1 to 2 days. So it's a very, very quick service.
Yeah.
But
Any cost?
Yes, it's $200. But
whoa.
It does cost.
Time out.
Yes, it is. It's $200.
$200 every time you get tested?
For adult talent testing, yes.
For adult talent testing.
Yeah, for adult talent testing.
And it's broad spectrum. It tests for damn near everything.
Yes,
Yeah.
Exactly. Yes.
So every disease out there?
Because
sometimes
sexually
there's some tests who don't, and that's the other thing. I had issues where I would go to certain doctors and places. I'd go in there for an STD test, and they test for like 2 things. I'm like, what is this? So that's why I stopped using certain clinics and stuff like that, because it's really risky. And if you don't know what you're getting tested for, you don't know what to look for. I literally had to argue people down. Like, I need a syphilis test. She's just like, well, we just don't test everybody for that. Like, what are y'all doing in here? Like, they want to leave certain things out. And like you said, you have to be sexually responsible. And if you're not aware of what you need to be tested for, or what makes people at risk, you're not even gonna know what to ask for. So being responsible is definitely important. And that's what I've always been in the industry since I've started. Because before I even got in the industry, some people who personally know me know about this. Since I was 14, I used to be a peer educator. I used to go out, give out condoms. I actually used to test people for HIV and stuff. Like, I used to do mobile testing. So it's like, sometimes the background you come from can change, but your priorities and values can stay the same. If you're a responsible person, you're focused, I feel like you can do things that, might be spontaneous and out there, but still be controlled and responsible in some kind of way, shape, or form. But yes, that's my life about sex. So now my sexual life is personal. It's not on camera anymore. But How
is that for you? Like,
it was non-existent for a long time. It's still like bumpy. It's still not. Yeah. It's still like not on a consistent, wave or motion. But I've always wanted a personal sexual relationship, and for me, business took over in my early 20s. So that's why I got into that. But now I'm more so like focused on being mentally connected with someone.